and welcome to the Double Fall Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Will, and I am accompanied by maybe the first guest we've ever had on the podcast, a very special guest, Barstool Hubbs. Thanks for coming on. Glad we could talk some tennis here. We have some incredible matchups here at Roland Garros to get into. Let's get right into it, though. Man, Djokovic, he never dies, dude. He's never going away, is he? He's going to be playing until he's like 45, still getting in slam semis.
38 years old, it's nuts that he's just able to do, 41-point rallies, a few high 20s and the 30s point rallies. It's just nuts. It's stupid. Like, there's really, for him to be at this age, and really, like, there's two people on earth who can beat him still. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah.
I think he could beat Zverev every single time. Like, throw out Australia. He wasn't healthy in Australia. I'm not counting that. But, like, and to be fair, Zverev didn't win that. It was he was going to win that set if he was going to win that match if he was healthy. But like, it's really just Sinner and Carlos who can beat him. And like, a stray person at I literally just wrote the blog, but like, he uses 1000s at this point in his career as practice, like to get form. He doesn't care about winning, Rome. Like, he doesn't care about that. But he uses his practice for this. All he cares about are slams, and rightfully so. What else? I don't even know why he's still playing. Like, the Margaret Court record is phony, and no one respects or cares about that. It's like the least respectable award record ever, and they're tied. So but he really has it, and he's got everything else. Like, he just got his 100th title. I don't know why he still does this. He's just truly a sicko. But it's good for tennis, no doubt, as long as he sticks around. And, if he's able to challenge Sinner, we'll talk about that. But it's crazy what he's able to do. It's also equally crazy how much of a mental midget, choke artist, shrinker that Zverev is, and he just won't ever change his ways. But for Novak to still do this, it's truly, truly amazing.
I agree. I don't know what he's chasing anymore. Maybe he still just wants to prove himself even more, make
Maybe
it
he
like
just
so
hates his
fun.
family. He might just hate his family.
Yeah, he's like, I just can't deal with the kids. I don't want to be home anymore. But
there's rumors that Federer is going to get into exhibitions. I think he also hates his family. I think they're like, this sucks. We want to go back to tennis.
Or like, when you're that good at tennis, it must be so much fun for these guys to play. So
yeah, I guess that's true. If I was really good at something, I would never stop doing it. Yeah.
Very true. But yeah, I mean, Djokovic, my concerns going into this Zverev matchup was obviously the physical. Like, can he last 4 or 5 grueling hours with Sasha? And Sasha is legitimately a deer. He could probably outrun a deer with his length and endurance.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell that early on, he wanted to just out-rally Djokovic. There was so many 20-shot rallies where Sasha's like, I can outlast him from the baseline. If I play him straight up, cross court, down the line, I can hang with him. Mm-hmm. But then Djokovic stopped playing that game. He had that extra dimension where he's said, okay, I might get into like an 8-shot rally, but I'm going to surprise a drop shot, get Zverev after he's backing up, getting comfortable. As soon as he gets comfortable at the baseline, that's when I'm going to attack. And Zverev, he figured out what to do with those short, like, sliding forehands where he would kind of like chip it deep, and that was kind of effective. But Djokovic was getting himself out of those exchanges and being the one in control. And I think that's what has plagued Zverev so many times in these big matchups is his style is like, he's not in control. He lets the other person dictate the matches. And Djokovic, I thought, was on his racket the entire time. He was the one dictating who was winning the points, and Zverev was kind of going along with the ride. And testament to him, like, he did well to stay in it, but Djokovic just had that extra gear he doesn't have, and that's why he doesn't have a slam.
Yeah, I mean, even in like that first set where Zverev played well, but like, it did feel like it was dictated on Djokovic's racket. And also, we've seen so many times Novak uses those first sets as like gauging what's going on. Was it the U.S. Open or wherever? There was a slam where he literally just lost the first set of every single match. And
I think that was the U.S. Open.
It might have been the U.S. Open, and it just didn't matter. It was just, he used his practice, and he goes, guess what? Like, that's the beauty of tennis too, right? Like, it doesn't matter how I lost the first set, how long it took. You can literally, as long as I play every set from now on better, it doesn't matter what just happened. And Novak uses that, part of tennis more than I think anybody. And he was like, "Yeah, oh, you want to play for the baseline? Great. We're gonna stop doing that, and you're gonna come forward. And I know you're not good at the net, and I know you're gonna get nervous with these overheads, and I'm gonna take advantage of it because I'm better at that than you, and I have a better mental game, pretty much in any. You can count on your hand in any sport across the world who has a better mental game than Novak Djokovic. You really that's it's the best part of his game, and he's got it by a mile over anybody else in the sport and any other sport, really. Like
especially against Zverev too.
Yeah, and Zverev is the opposite.
Yeah,
If he's just late in a slam hook, he can't beat Dominic Thiem in a U.S. Open final. So yeah, man, it's. I wrote in the blog, Zverev getting deep in the slams is just wasting everyone's time. Nothing has changed. He just doesn't go for anything. He plays so conservative. He just plays to not lose. And guess what? That's not how you win a Grand Slam. It's nuts that he hasn't caught up on that. Or maybe it's truly impossible and he can't change it. And, if that's the case, then oh well. But, yeah, I mean, today was the exact same thing as we've seen for years from him.
Yeah. I think he's so, not self-aware. I think I saw him after his Rome loss to Musetti, where he said Musetti's the type of player that just relies on his defense, will kind of push, keep the rallies extending, wait for the errors. I'm like, Sasha, look in the mirror. That's exactly how you play to a T, especially.
Also, I wouldn't even describe Musetti as that player.
No, not at all.
He'll rip forehands, he'll rip one-hand backhands down the line and just go for shit and go crazy. He's hung with Carlos a little bit on clay. I wouldn't. Casper Ruud, sure, you want to say that about him or whatever, but Musetti has aggression to him. He will go for shit. He plays for moments. I don't think he was so off base with that. And it's good you brought that up because dude, you're just describing yourself.
Yeah, seriously. And I'm pretty sure it was the fourth set. Zverev got a break point to break back, maybe at 3-4, and they got into this crazy exchange, trading blows from the baseline. Djokovic gets on his back foot, kind of pops one up short in the middle of the court. And I said, okay, Sasha, this is your chance. Step into this and rip it and end the point. That's what Carlos would have done. That's what Jannik would have done. That's what Novak would have done. That's what Roger, Rafa, they would have stepped in and taken the ball early and finished the point. And what does he do? Zero risk, safe, down the middle. Djokovic gets control. 2 shots later, wins the point. People are going to look at the last shot to end that point, but it was that decision by Sasha, and maybe it's just the mental training or whatever he's done. The way he's wired is just to not take that risk. And
yeah, he had 3 chances to win that point in that rally, and he just didn't take any of them. It's just come on, man. And honestly, I don't know, Novak closing that match out, it took a little bit. I don't know if Zverev levels. I don't know if Novak might have been spent. I don't know if he had anything left. Now, sometimes he gives that impression, and then all of a sudden the cyborg comes back out when he has to. But, as you said, and I viewed the same way, the physical part of this match was what I thought. That's how Novak can lose it. Because he hasn't been in good shape all year, and he's 38 years old. Zverev has those fresh legs. If he can outlast him, that's how Zverev wins the match. And I thought we were nearing maybe that point of oh no, Zverev just found that window and then he's about to bust it wide open. But of course he couldn't find that and
same old story. I've been watching this guy for so many years. When I first really started, watching tennis every single day, that was when Zverev, Tsitsipas, that was when they were 19, 20. They were the young up and coming Alcaraz, Sinners, these exciting guys that you're oh, this is the future of the sport. The guy's ready to take over and lead the new charge. And now
just look
he's
at Zverev. Take out what we know about him and just look at the physical aspect of him. The way this guy can serve, the way he moves for being such a tall guy, not a serve bot in the slightest, has great movement. Backhand, the 2-hand backhand is just, he can do that for days. He can just fucking, sorry, I cursed. But
it doesn't matter. You can curse.
Oh, okay. But so, you can go for days with that backhand, and he's putting it wherever he wants. The forehand can spray a little bit, but, it's still very powerful. He has the tools. When he first came out, like you just said, I thought, oh no, this guy is going to be a problem. If you talked to me back then, before I knew a single thing about him, really, I would guess he had 4 slams by now.
Agreed. That's like a minimum. You know,
Yeah.
like I would say,
That's
like, oh,
accidentally having 4 slams with that kind of ability. And if you have Novak's brain with his like physique,
oh
probably
yeah,
like
oh
a
yeah,
monster. But it's not the case, man.
yeah. I guess there's maybe something to do with growing up or growing up as a player in the tail end of Djokovic and Nadal, because those guys were complete masters of the sport, and you're trying to like grow as a person and a player and gain confidence, and you're just repeatedly battered down by those guys and can't win any major trophies. I
No.
mean that weighs on a guy too. And especially like I think Novak might have let Zverev get the lead and win that first set, just so when he finally gave it up, it was even more like damaging on Sasha, because he was like, "Damn, blew another one." Like I had him, I was up a set, and Novak's like, "I let you do that, man. I played it completely different. I was kind of hiding my long-term strategy and baiting you into thinking that you might be able to just outlast me, and that only set me up later to, you know, play as he did and take that risk and
Yeah,
win it."
I think
But
it's also a good sign that Novak, because I think at the end of the day, as great as that sounds, I think he does like Sasha, so I don't think he would want to crush him like that. I think they seem to be friends.
yeah,
But I do think he was kind of just seeing how it was going. But for him to be confident enough to like, hey, he knew I don't need to win this in 3. I'm good enough physically. I know where I'm at. Now, it also helps that no one tested him to this point. I thought that was very
yes,
important going in. He was very fresh. Because sometimes things can get weird in slams. You know, you
yeah.
got a guy who's going to play his best against Novak Djokovic in a slam, and he's a young, fresh guy who doesn't know what he's doing. That didn't happen. Novak
Well,
cruised.
yeah, like look at last year. Like he went 5 sets with Sarandolo, and then he broke down physically the next round and had to withdraw and couldn't even play. Like I think it was
Right,
Rude,
and
maybe.
that's part of like at his age, you can't afford to have those matches. It really derails everything. So I thought that was very important, and I think he knows. I think that's a good sign, despite how he kind of looked to close out the fourth. I think he's in pretty good shape here. Like
Yeah.
he's as good physical shape as he's going to be facing Sinner in the semis. And speaking of what you said real quick, it is so important for Medvedev to have that slam because he wasn't.
Oh,
He's not going to win. Like yeah, obviously he blew it to Nadal too. But like him getting that U.S. Open,
validates everything.
yeah, because like he's lucky is what I'm saying because
Yeah.
he could be in Zverev's spot.
Agreed. And every conversation would be Zverev and Medvedev don't have it.
Yeah.
Tsitsipas is just pretty much we just throw it out that he's never gonna get it at this rate because he's like such a lost cause, and I'm
He
like
may
the
never
biggest.
win another tournament again. He's the most lost cause. No, I mean, yeah, he did win one of these. Dominic Thiem's another guy. Very lucky
Yes.
he won. Holy
Yes.
crap. And,
I think agreed. I said that. I think I tweeted that maybe yesterday or something. I was like, dude, team, that one just validates everything.
yeah.
Because it's like every
Good for him,
time you.
really tough go with his career and like so undeserving for how it ended. So I'm very happy team ended up with one.
Yeah, team is only 31. Like we should have another 5 years of Dami team, but yeah, that's such a bummer. But
Yeah.
no, I agree with you. But I think if Djokovic in Nadal's ceremonial slam, he might have had a 4-round bye, pretty much. No, disrespect for the opponents he played to get here. But if he takes out Zverev, then takes out Sinner, then takes out Alcaraz or Musetti, my God, is that a slam? And
Right.
that's like what he has in front of him. And if there is a person to do that, it would be Sasha. I think that's the number 1, 2, and 3 player in the world he has to go through to get this slam. So
Yeah, I mean that would be godlike. That would be it would be like what I mean on a lesser scale because these guys are more established. But what what Madison Keys just did in Australia. Like that run, that's as good as it gets. There's no phoniness to that in the slightest. Like that, you beat the best of the best in succession. And if Novak did, I mean, not like again, he has nothing to prove. He doesn't need to do this.
Yeah,
but he's such a sicko, and he loves tennis so much, and he loves beating these guys and further hammering down like I'm the GOAT. That he just keeps doing it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's some sort of like self-seeded. He was in the Fidal shadow for so long that now he's finally in the spotlight and he just wants it forever.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
as a Federer guy through and through, Rogers, the reason why I fell in love with tennis.
Yeah.
I've rooted against Djokovic his entire career. So the amount of times he has burned me has been relentless, and I keep doing it. I was like, I really want Novak to lose and root for the other guy. It's like, oh, maybe this is the time Novak gets dethroned, and then time and time again, he's like the boogeyman. He just keeps coming back. But
Yeah, once Fed retired, I stopped doing that, and I started to appreciate him a little bit more. And I think also he became more of a he became more personable when Fed stepped out, and then especially when Nadal faded away.
Yeah.
Because I think Djokovic now, there's a lot of reasons to hate on Novak, and he can be corny at times, and but I really think
injuries.
The big thing was, you want to do that. I think the big thing was he was the guy who came in and just disrupted this Nadal Federer party, and he was just you guys are done trading these slams. It's not happening anymore. Like I'm going to come in and be the bad guy, and he was just the villain because everyone loved Federer and Nadal so much, and he stopped all that. So that's really what. So once those guys left the sport, you just have to take a step back at some point and be like,
yeah,
this is one of the greatest athletes of all time. Never just tennis, not even just tennis. This is truly one of the greatest athletes of all time. And the fact that he's still winning a match like today at 38 is bonkers.
Agreed. It's really insane. And his presence, I think you might have said this before, it validates Sinner Alcaraz. Because imagine if Djokovic bowed out 3 years ago, and now the question would have been like, I wonder if Sinner and Alcaraz could ever beat Djokovic when he was still doing Djokovic shit. Yep. Djokovic is still doing Djokovic shit, and he's testing these guys and honestly prepping like them to take over and lead this new generation where now Sinner and Alcaraz have only gotten better to start their careers because Novak is around. Yep. Like think about all the reps that Carlos has already gotten, the Wimbledon final experience playing Djokovic back to back, like that kind of stuff, like that would not have been possible if Djokovic is around. So you got to respect him, and I appreciate him still playing, and I think he just propels the game of tennis so much more because he does have that built-in audience throughout his entire career that he's built. But do you give him a shot to take down the assassin, Jannik Sinner? Because my God, has he looked like a machine so far this tournament?
No, I'm sorry, I don't. And if I get clowned on for not believing in what Jannik is doing to people is honestly disturbing. Like.
It's like psychopathic.
It makes no sense. He hasn't faced the best of this point. Admitted. Rublev, Bublik, Lehechka, yeah. But the stats they're putting up here, time to win one game. Bublik, 27 minutes. Rublev, 27 minutes. Casper, 47. Lehechka, 55 minutes. And then someone else goes, Christopher Clary goes, we have to start scoring differently for Jannik Sinner matches. Rinderknecht got 12 games. Gasquet got 7. Lehechka got 3. Rublev got 8. Bublik got 6. You just have to credit them for who won some games because you're not winning anything else. You're not winning sets off this guy. I think anyone who follows the game of tennis knew Bublik was in for a very rude.
Oh yeah, he got his one over Draper.
I think Bublik knew this was, I would love to see a 10-minute clip of him talking to his coach before the match, being like, "What are we doing here?"
Oh, he was laughing and smiling during the match, like he knew he was just out there to have fun.
Yeah, and listen, making the quarterfinal of a slam, for the first time, celebrate that shit, man. That was an awesome effort. It was good to see him. He's a very likable guy. You don't need to beat Jannik Sinner for me to for it not to be a successful tournament for Alexander Bublik. But Sinner being this good on clay, because obviously hard court he thrives in. Grass court we got to get there. But obviously he doesn't lose in Australia. U.S. Open he dominates. But now you're getting this on clay. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's just he's a cyborg. He and you know what? He's an asshole. In he doesn't give anyone an inch. Bublik in the third set. It's over, man. Nope, he's not giving you a game. It's Nadal shit. Nadal used to do that. Rafa wouldn't let up for a second.
It's just business. It's literally just ruthless execution on Sinner's part.
Yeah. Federer would do it to a degree, but I think Rafa did it more. Rafa
Yeah.
really just didn't have it. He's like, why would I give you this game? Why would I not try to close you out here?
Why would I take 1 point off and not play my hardest every single time the point starts? Like, that's just.
I want to break you here, so I serve to start this set. Like, I'm not giving you this game. It's like, that's just. It's a different level what he's doing. It's also great. I mean, I really just hope we get it, the final. Like, we deserve finally a slam final of this. And the storylines, obviously, him coming off the suspension and Carlos just beating him. So I want it badly, and it's great that Carlos is the one guy who can do it.
Yeah. It's like Sinner beats everybody besides him.
I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know if it's a tactical thing. I haven't looked into it too deeply of just like why it happens. Also, Carlos, it may just be a focus thing, and that's what I'm kind of chalking it up to because Carlos, what the difference between Sinner and Carlos is Sinner is so consistent. Carlos can lose to just about anybody. Sinner can't. Sinner really only loses to like 2 people. So, and it's really kind of just 1 now. So that might be it. And when they face each other, like Carlos is locked in, and then at his peak, he might just be higher than Sinner. So that might just be how to explain what's happening. But it's great because we don't need the same guy winning every single tournament. We need these guys killing each other out there.
Yeah, we know it's definitely 2 going forward that can win slams. Carlos and Jannik. They're by far the best 2 players in the world. Now they're going to be at the top of the game where now we're only going to see them play in finals. If they're the 1, 2 seed, 3 seeds, maybe if they drop a little bit, that's slam semis, slam finals guaranteed. So these matches, we have to cherish them every time we get. Because, yes, they are the best players, but physically concerns you have to always worry about. Like, we might not always get this matchup.
Yeah. Don't take it for granted.
So if we get this, my God, like, this is going to be epic, like, tennis, all of the gods.
Think about it. They've been top 5 players for a while now. This would be the first time we've ever gotten it. So, like, there's no reason to think this is going to happen every time. Weird shit happens.
And they played a few years ago at the U.S. Open, and that was like a 5-set
thriller.
There. And that was, oh, you were? That was awesome. That was probably an insane moment to live through.
Yeah, I took fights and Nate, my coworkers, for the first ever tennis match. How about that being your first ever tennis match?
Wow. They're like, how did they not fall in love with it after that?
They did. They love Carlos. Now we go every year to see him. But
that's awesome.
We were sitting like upper deck, and then in the 4th set, it was a very late night, obviously. In the third set, 4th set, they were clearing everybody out. Because not everyone stays because it's 2 a.m. and they're like that's when they were like, come sit down in the lower bowl. So we ended up being like 4th row for the 5th set. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was like I'll never forget that in my life.
Oh, that's incredible. I love going to the U.S. Open every year. That's like my favorite day of the year. That's like the grounds, walking around, tennis
Labor
everywhere.
Day Friday. It's not really. They kind of switched the schedule a little bit so that Friday isn't as packed as it used to be. It's now Thursday is the final day where it's like a really good matches like everywhere. But it used to be that Labor Day Friday, you get off of work, it's a half day, you head right to the U.S. Open, you spend the whole day there. And it's just, nothing
That's incredible. I love that. That's like one of my only goals in life is to go to all 4 Grand Slams. So I need to book some flights to Australia, Paris, London.
Yep.
So you're not giving Djokovic much chance against Sinner. I don't either because, I mean, we had the physical concerns. I don't think that's going to really creep into this Djokovic match.
No.
But Sinner is not like Zverev. He can hang with Djokovic if he wants to defensively from the baseline, but Sinner's weapons, and he's not afraid to take those risks and take chances. So I just don't.
He doesn't have any flaws. What are you attack?
Yeah.
What's the tactic here? I don't know what the I mean, I'm not, a tennis savant in the way I know I can break down Jannik Sinner's game, and I don't think anyone at this point can break down Jannik Sinner's game, but. If there's one thing that's encouraging, it's like, Novak's not going to lose the mental side of this. He'll be locked in. If anything, he's going to play the mental games. But I was talking to my buddy, and we're pretty good about like predicting lines and what things should be and what's like eye-opening. Sinner being minus 400 here is eye-opening. We thought encouraging number for Novak would have been 200 if Jannik Sinner was minus 200. I thought it'd be 275, and that would be encouraging for Jannik's side. 400 was like, oh, he has no shot.
Yeah. And I don't think he has a shot. Like, to be honest, I think
now
it is.
It's up to 450, so it's being bet up a little bit. Huh.
Yeah, on DraftKings, I'm seeing that here.
I'm trying to see what
is Djokovic to get a set?
minus 200.
Interesting.
I think the value would be no.
Yeah, I agree. Because I
Plus
think
140.
the way that Sinner plays, like he does not mess around. Like he steps on your throat and then will like kick dirt on your dead
Well,
body.
I
Like
mean, also, you want to make a statement to everybody that like you can dominate off, hey, I'm not suspended anymore. I'm not on steroids anymore. We think. Um, so I'm gonna kick Novak Djokovic's ass, and the whole world's gonna watch it and fear me.
well,
Probably gonna happen.
yeah, and
So
I think
actually, if you asked me to do a pick, it would be Sinner and straights plus 140.
I like the value on that. I could definitely see that happening
Yeah.
because you also have to think. Yes, Djokovic, he had that concern for the hamstring earlier in the year, but Sinner also has no wear and tear of
No.
the entire tour season so far on his body, and he's also been prepping specifically for these weeks and get his body in slam prep. So
Yeah.
I thought, obviously like the match experience, we thought, oh, maybe that's going to be a concern for him. Absolutely not a concern. Zero rust. If anything, he looks better than when he exited the tour, and that was when he was on like a 40 match or 25 match win streak. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he wasn't They should have made him like,
yeah,
like part of the suspension should be like, we're destroying all your rackets. You can't
yeah,
have
like you have to have somebody go with you and make sure you can't play tennis.
Yeah, like similar to like house arrest, where you got to like report every day. Someone's got to like go through his house and be like, where the rackets are still locked up, right? You can't use
Yeah.
Like that should have been part of the suspension. So at least he was rusty coming back. He wasn't.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think this is what tennis fans deserve, that final, Sinner versus Carlitos.